Hey everyone, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. It is Wednesday, May 2nd. I have some positive news on the Ripple front. Now, the BankDhofar, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is a bank located in the country of Oman, which is a country located in the Middle East, has partnered with Ripple, and they're going to be using Xcurrent initially. And obviously, as we talked about in the past, Ripple's goal is to get them to use XRapid. But this is definitely a win for Ripple because they're making moves within different markets, obviously in the Middle East and the Asian markets and so forth. So the more banks they can get in within the network, the more opportunity or potential they can to get them to use XRapid as well. So it says here, and this was tweeted by BankDhofar on April 30th, the first bank in Oman to join RippleNet for instant blockchain payments. This step will enable BankDhofar to provide instant, frictionless, and secure cross-border money transfers within seconds with end-to-end visibility over the journey of the payment. This was also retweeted here by Ripple on their Twitter profile. This was retweeted earlier today. So definitely a great partnership. Now, here's what the BankDhofar website looks like. As mentioned, a country within the Middle East. And if you guys recall, I shared this website with you in, I believe, a video maybe a couple of weeks ago. The website is rppl.info, which is it keeps track of Ripple's partnerships that we know of. Now, obviously, we don't know of all the partnerships, just the ones that have been made public. But it's a good resource to go to so you can see who's testing XRapid, who's using XRapid, who's accepting XRP, who's using Xcurrent. So here, BankDhofar has been added as of April 30th, using Xcurrent at the moment. And let's see here. There's just a whole list of different companies, guys, banks, payment service providers, and so forth. So a lot on this spreadsheet, very helpful because it can be very tedious to try to pull all this information. And, you know, Ripple seems to be at times announcing partnerships by the day. So definitely a helpful site. Be sure to bookmark it, and we can, you know, help us to keep track of what's going on and who's using XRapid, and of course who's accepting XRP. Now the other news, and I'm not going to read the full tweet on this because this guy went in. I'm going to share a link to this Twitter thread here where you guys can read through. He is a lawyer, and he breaks down the law and further enforces that Ripple XRP is not a security. Now, if you recall, I did a video on this because there was some FUD being spread by a former SEC employee. And I'm just going to give you the takeaway here, guys, because it's a lot, as you can see. But his wrap up here, increasingly XRP is being used to send value cheaply and quickly. In all of these circumstances, it seems highly unlikely that a court would treat all holders of XRP as investors in a common enterprise with a view to profit solely from Ripple's activities. Now, as you know, XRP Ledger is open source, and XRP existed before the company Ripple existed. And obviously, if Ripple were to go out of business as a company, XRP would still exist. The other part of it is what we talked about in my previous video. We are not getting any type of dividends from holding XRP. We're not getting any type of interest from holding XRP. Could we profit off of it by selling it at a higher price than we bought it? Sure, but we're not getting like monthly or quarterly payments from it. And owning XRP doesn't mean you own a share of the company. So that right away clearly states that this is not a security. Now, this guy goes in. It's great because the reason why I'm sharing it with you is from a lawyer's perspective, and that's important, I think. You know, someone who can interpret the law and understands the law, and he goes in here, guys. There's a lot, and once again, I don't want to read off of this. I'm going to share the link in the description. You guys can check it out, and I think it's very insightful. So hopefully that helps. The next news I want to talk a bit about. Someone found this video from 2015, and I know folks get excited when they find certain content and they start sharing. But this video is from 2015, and it talks a bit about Ripple via the Codius project looking to target the derivatives market. But this is an old video. the Codius project was paused for a few years, not this year, but maybe about 2 years ago. It has been relaunched, but we haven't really heard any updates from there. So I don't want people to get super excited or the expectations to be wrong, because this is an old video. So you may see some people have started doing videos about this on YouTube, but when I researched where this was from, the full video, was published in June 18, 2015. So this person who shared it, I get it. They found it and are excited about it, but the content is pretty old. That's not to say Ripple is not working on this, because they did relaunch the Codius project, but we haven't had any updates. So I'm always a big believer in making sure the news is as accurate as possible, so people's expectations are not, false. And also, when we do make certain type of predictions, we of course talk about this as a prediction. A prediction, it may not or may not come to pass, and there's certain factors and things that need to come into play. So just wanted to share that if you guys see this circulating, because it is an old video. I'm not saying I'm against Codius. I'm for Codius, but we haven't had any real tangible updates on this from Ripple. So I don't want you to look at a video from 2015 and get super excited that this is happening this year. We don't know yet. So we have to wait and see. We know that some Ripple employees said there are going to be some new use cases, but we don't have details on that. So just wanted to set expectations, guys. Anyway, what do you think about this news with the BankDhofar? I think this is big. Once again, Ripple getting out there, building its network of banks and partnerships and so forth. So very, very positive news. And like I said, more banks and payment service providers and money transfer companies that come into Ripple's network, the more potential to get them to use XRapid. So as mentioned, Ripple is a long-term hold. You have to be patient. There's a process because they're working with real businesses. This is not a white paper. This is not some sort of small project. This is big. This is working with real companies looking to disrupt a trillion-dollar market, so to speak. Obviously, because there's trillions of dollars being transferred between banks and money service providers and all of that annually, guys. So this is big time, and this is why I'm invested in Ripple, because it's a real company solving a real world problem. So what do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video, and please subscribe for more videos on Ripple and other cryptocurrencies. Talk to you guys later.